Hi class, this is Russ. So this week we will be working on Module 2. We will be building an implementation of the bag interface and testing the bag interface. So um, using the sketch that I presented in Module 1, I can show you some of the issues that you'll encounter, some of the things that you'll need to address in your implementation of your array bag interface. So if you recall from video one, the module one videos, we built an array bag, and the array bag is basically the container that will hold the items for the bag. Okay, so one of the issues that you may readily see with this particular implementation of our array bag is that it's hardwired to a specific size of 25 elements right here in the constructor. And this may not be desirable. In particular, consider the fact that if you're an online, if you're an online shopping cart such as Amazon or some other online retailer, and you hardwire your shopping cart size to some fixed number, and that could limit the amount of items that a customer would want to purchase. So ideally, you want to construct your array bag so that it can grow beyond a preset size defined in the constructor. And to achieve this, what we can do is to make the array bag size dynamic, we can generate a new class or create a new class of resizable array bag. So let's do that. Let's call it resizable array bag. Okay. It will make it public. It will make it final. And here's our class. And so the way we'll implement this class is it will look very similar to the array bag with a couple of key modifications. So let me copy this into my resizable array bag, and let's go ahead and make it change the class name to resizable array bag, and then the constructors will have to have the same name as the class name. Okay. So there's the one constructor, and here's the other constructor. Okay. All right. And for testability, let's just make default capacity 2 for now. So I can show you how later on I'll demonstrate how this bag dynamically resizes during the runtime of the program. Okay, so consider this. Let's go to the non-default constructor. And we no longer wish to check the max capacity because we no longer need to check the desired capacity of the bag because we want the desired capacity to be any number of our choosing as long as it's less than max capacity. So let's just remove this particular logic, and so desired capacity could be any number as long as it's less than 10,000. Now suppose a guy comes along and wants to initialize this class to 10,001. Well, we should guard against that because that would probably be a waste of memory resources. So let's wire up a method called check capacity, and we'll pass to it the desired capacity. Okay, so just a little bit of a modification here. And I'll go ahead and implement this check capacity. So let's create the method. And so somewhere down here, did it create it? Where is it? Let me find it. Where is it? Find. There it is. Oh, it's below it. Okay, so stuck it here. Okay, and so to do auto-generated method stub, so let me see. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and wire it in here. So this method will throw an exception if the client requests a capacity that's too large. Okay, and so if desired capacity is greater than max capacity, then the program will throw an error, display an error of type illegal state exception. Second, go ahead, right here. Okay, and so we check for the capacity if you attempt to break out of the maximum size. All right, so just a little bit of rework on the non-default constructor. And what else can we do? Another thing, checking capacity. Do we have a check capacity? Okay. Now, all right, so let's see. How about our create, our constructor, resizable bag? Let me check this. Another thing we want to do is suppose we have an existing bag. So check that. Suppose we have an array of items. So suppose you come along and create an array um, of boutique items, and you want to stuff that array into the bag. Okay, so we haven't done that yet. So we basically don't have a constructor, a constructor that accepts an array of items. So let's go ahead and do that. And I already have one kind of prototyped out. So I'll just copy it here and walk and give you a chance to examine the code. Let's see, right here. Another kind of constructor. So, and what's the problem here? Needs to be a void, right? Let's see. Actually, it should be a constructor. Resizable array bag. Okay, um, so I'm change it to a constructor. Okay. Oh, I had a spelling error. Resizable. Am I not spelling resizable? Resizable should not have this E. But anyway, we'll go with that. Forgive my misspelling. Okay, so note that what I do is when I pass an array of items to the resizable array bag class, the first thing I'll do is I'll check the capacity to make sure that it's not blowing past 10,000. And what I'll do is I will take my bag and copy I will copy the contents of the array into the existing bag. Okay, and so I need to put in the package for arrays. So let me import the arrays package. And so this will take this contents array um, and all the items in it and stuff it into the bag. And then I update the number of entries in the bag, and then I set the initialized equals to true. Okay, so this is yet another type of constructor that we hadn't talked about previously. Okay, what else can we do? So now, all right, so let's go to the add. That's where things get interesting. Now in the add method, so let's check. Check initialization. Um, we check to see if the array is full. Okay, and okay, so this time, um, instead of aborting, failing out of the routine, let's do something different. So we're attempting to add a single entry to the add. So let's call this, I'm going to call this, let's call this the old add, so we can compare and contrast. All right, and so now let's do at override. Well, I'll tell you what, better rather than renaming it, since these are what? These are interface methods. I'm going to go ahead and comment out this add method. Just comment it out because we're going to rework it. Okay, so we'll use the same method signature, and here are the changes we're going to make it dynamically sizable. Okay. All right, so the first thing we want to do is just like we did before, is we want to check initialization to make sure that we're working with a legitimate bag that's been allocated on the heap. Okay, and then the next thing we want to do is, okay, we still want to check if it's filled. Okay, and remember, is full returns a Boolean value. So if it's not full, it'll return what? Um, so if the array is full, it'll return true. Um, and this time, um, if it's filled, okay, so if this is true, if this statement is true, then the bag is currently filled. So what happens if it's filled? Well, instead of returning a false, what I want to do is I want to do a double capacity. In other words, I'm going to increase the storage of this of my bag. I'm going to double the storage, the number of items. So in other words, if I initialize it to 2 and it's filled, then we're going to increase the capacity of the array to 4. And I'll show you how that's done. So we need to implement this method. So create a double capacity. All right, so how does that work? Okay. Okay, so to create a double capacity, let's see here. Looking at my notes. Okay, Control F, double. All right, so here's what's going on. Double the size of the array bag. How can we do that? Okay, so to do that, we do the following. Um, the new length of the bag, of course, will be twice the length of the existing bag. And then, okay, so we check the capacity. So the reason why we want to check the capacity in case the original bag dot length is, say, 5,000, and we don't want to exceed 10,000 elements. And then what we do is we take our bag, our existing bag, remove final modifier of bag. Do I need to do that? Let me check. Do I need to remove my final modifier? I probably do. Let's see here. I'm looking at checking my notes here. Yes. In order to resize the bag, it cannot be a final, okay? Because finals mean it's static in nature, it's immutable. So we need to make it mutable. So where is my declaration for my bag? Yeah, we have to take this off. And hopefully it doesn't break anything else. Okay, so yeah, we're still working on the Boolean. All right, so double capacity. So now we can, so what we do here is that we take the old bag and we copy the old bag into a new bag of type length. So this is the way you can resize. This is the Java technique of adding additional capacity to an existing array. You basically take the old array, okay, and the new length, and you just pass it to the copy method of the arrays utility, and then now the new bag. This is now the new bag, okay. It is now the old bag with twice the storage. Okay, so half of this bag doesn't contain any contents. Okay, so that's basically all we need to do for the add method. Okay, and now what do we do? So we need to update our bag. So if so, once we double the capacity, then we have to add the item to the bag. So we go bag number of entries. Okay, so this is the last item, is equal to new entry, like so. And then we increment our number of entries. Number of entries plus plus, and if I can ever spell right, okay, and then we always return true, unless we throw an exception. And it's unlikely that we'll ever try and wire in 10,000 elements into this bag, okay? Okay, so this would be our dynamic resizing, and I guess at some point we should check that. So let's see, are there any other things that we need to modify? Um, I don't think we need to change remove. I don't think we need to change get index of. That should all work the same. Um, remove entry, I think is still good. I think we're still good with all the deletions. Array full, I think is still good. Let's check. Is array full? I think we're good there. Check capacity is the new method. And so the only thing that we really needed to change was the add. Okay, so let's run this. Um, well, before we run it, we need to change the change over from using array bag to resizable array bag. Forgive my misspelling of resizable. So let's see here. Where was our driver? It was boutique driver, right? So let's open this up. And everything else should be the same. Okay, and the only thing is when we create our array, where do we create our array? I have to recall now. Boutique is new boutique. Oh, do we do it in the boutique class? Yeah, okay, so in our boutique, we changed the type from array bag to resizable array bag. Resizable array bag. Let's see if we can do that. Does that work? Okay, are there any other array bags that might get us? I don't think so. Okay, and then so the driver should be the same. So we've changed the constructor for boutique to resizable, and let's see. Okay, all right. So um, and let's check the add method. Do we need to modify anything to the add? I wouldn't think so, right? So add item. Okay, and all right. So now bear in mind that our resizable array bag now, we're no longer using the array bag um, type, we're using resizable array bag. Bear in mind that its size is currently hardwired to 2. And let's see what happens right here. Let's see what happens if we try to add a third item. Okay, so if we use array bag and we attempt to add a third item, it won't happen until we remove something. But now let's see if we can recapacitate the resizable array bag from 2 to 3. So let's go ahead and run this, run our driver. Okay, it's a console application. Okay, so let's see, let's add. Okay, and enter the name of the boutique item to add. So let's call it a shirt. Okay, and the cost of the item is $1.23. Okay, let's add another item. Let's call it a shirt again. Okay, and enter the cost, let's say $2.50. All right, so now look at the message. The boutique has 2 items. So what happens if we attempt to add a third item? Now we know the boutique is capacitated at 2, so let's attempt to add a third item. And let's call it pants. Okay, and let's call it $3 for the pants. Ah, look at that. The boutique now has 3 items. So we've recapacitated our array. So you can see the utility of this. This is now a variant of the array bag that's now dynamically sizable. Okay, so I hope this is meaningful to you. So if you have any questions about this, by all means, post your question in the Module 2 forum. So we're getting really serious now about contemporary software engineering. So That's it for this video presentation. I'll go ahead and quit.